Hey, Nick.
Good, Sir Wyatt. How are you?
Pretty good. Why did the fireman wear red and white suspenders?
Oh, gosh, I don't know, but I'm sure you're about to tell me.
To hold his pants up.
Ah,
We don't have it yet.
what up, everybody? Welcome back. It's another week of your favorite buddy podcast. We don't have it yet. Coming to you, recording a day early because Wyatt is off on a Vanagon adventure this weekend. We have some fun stuff to discuss. I went on a shopping spree down at Microcenter. Xbox admits that maybe they don't have a compelling argument as to why you should own one. Everybody's favorite curmudgeon Larry David has a new series on the way. Shocked Pikachu face. Pokemon Go players have been mapping the world for nefarious purposes. And Nintendo Direct was back this week, including a trailer for another big Nintendo remake. Sir Wyatt, how are you, good sir?
Aside from having the entire week to get packed for my trip, I've done none of that, so pretty great. How about you?
I'm awesome, man. And I like this. It's Friday. We're playing a little bit of hooky, getting some recording in before you go on an adventure. Just in a good mood because, end of the week. It's good stuff.
I am ready for this week to be over. I don't know why, but it has felt like it has been about 2 weeks long, and I need a break.
So where are you going? Where are you driving out to? You camping?
We are, yes and no. I mean, we're staying at a friend's camp, which is really just a very nice off-grid cabin up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, which is pretty much I could spit to the Canadian border. So it's going to be the first big trip for Ji-van Choi, and hopefully he makes it all the way up with no issues. I've had a couple shakedown drives with it this past week, and knock on wood, nothing has fallen off.
You got some pregame conditioning in prior to the main event.
Yeah, the problem is like the way my mind works is originally it was, if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen when I'm doing these shakedowns, and if something doesn't happen, we're probably fine.
Oh,
But
now you just think that you've shaken the cobwebs out and
yeah,
everything's going to collapse when you hit the road for
yeah,
real.
absolutely. My
Of course.
negativity is hit, and now I've used up the good miles, and now when I need the miles, something's going to break. But that's why we have AAA. I mean, when you own a van that is 41 years old and probably was not expected to ever last as long as some of these have lasted, you're going to run into some issues.
Well, I saw you had you got your portable fridge cooler out and ready to go. I assume a solar battery and panels will be making the journey with you in some capacity. And are you sleeping out not under the stars, but in the van under the stars at least?
Nah, we got a nice comfy bed inside the cabin.
Yeah,
so
my
we'll
kind of
probably-
camping. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose for me to take my camper van all the way north to go stay in a house, but this is more reason to just make sure that the van can make longer trips, and then
Yeah.
who knows, maybe in 4 or 5 years I'll feel confident enough that I could drive it out to Chicago and sleep in your driveway.
Yeah, I love that. Well, this is an exploratory expedition to determine the van's capabilities, shall we say.
Expedition Zero is where
Yes.
we're at right now.
Yeah, we're on a fact-finding mission. Will the engine drop out on the road? We shall see.
We sure will. If Wyatt is not available for an episode next week, you'll know that I either did not make it there or did not make it back.
Well, I'm very comforted by the fact that I know that you couldn't take a corner too fast or fast enough for the van to tip over. Thus, I know you'll probably be safe. So that's helpful.
Well, the nice thing, a lot of people think because, the way a van, again, if you don't know, is the Volkswagen camper van that was made from 79 to 91 or 92. It looks like a brick. And
Iconic design.
Very, very iconic design. And those things actually are very bottom heavy. So you can those things stick to the ground surprisingly well. I don't plan on, rallying the Vanagon up to Pittsburgh, but
You're not going to fantail drift it around a windy corner?
I mean, I might. It's a rear wheel drive vehicle. That's what you want when you're drifting. So, Stay tuned.
Well,
So
I wish you the
Nick,
best of luck, and hopefully it's uneventful.
I hope they're good events, but yes, I
Yeah.
hope I do not have to call AAA or get broken down in a spot where there's no cell service because once you hit the notch in New Hampshire, it turns into basically there's only one way to get north, and cell phone service isn't exactly the greatest.
All right. We have to get you a satellite phone, at least for an emergency line to me.
Yeah. I'll have you come rescue me from your Chicago suburb.
I'm coming in. By the way, my car is also pretty old and doesn't run that great. Hopefully
Hey,
it works out.
that could make for good content. We can
Yes.
get some video content in there. The rescue mission of both of us having to be rescued by
And
emergency
here's where
services
I
for different
broke down on
reasons.
the way to him. Yeah.
But speaking about breaking down, I heard you broke your wallet down and took a trip to Microcenter here recently.
Everybody's favorite place. And when I say everybody, I just mean extreme nerds like us. But probably the last real computer store
Yeah.
that's left. I mean, Best Buy, I guess, still has some
Eh,
components, but
yeah.
it's not much. And
Radio
they
Shack's
want to sell
gone.
you pre-built everything. Yeah, everybody's gone. I mean, Fry, forget it.
Yeah.
They were gone as CompUSA of my youth, Circuit City. Those good places are all gone. So I mean, if you want to buy bare components for a PC, these days your choices are basically Micro Center for brick and mortar or Amazon. Unless you
Newegg if you hate
have,
yourself.
yeah, I mean, and unless you have a mom and pop small builder nearby, you're not going to have a lot of options. And those guys can't afford to stay in business because of the cost of components and doing business right now. So head down to Micro Center because the boy is turning 10 at the end of the month and has taken quite a shine to personal computing, lives on his desktop a lot of the time, and has even gotten into himself doing modding on Switch games, primarily Mario Odyssey, which we legally own. He can do whatever he wants.
He is a chip off the old block, huh?
I guess so, man. He's a tinkerer. He likes ripping things apart and not necessarily putting them back together correctly.
Well, that's what Dad's
Uh,
for.
Yeah, so he's running on an ancient Dell Optiplex system that I got from the library for $40. It's probably, I think it's seventh Gen i5.
Okay.
So still reasonably capable, but definitely showing its age. And I probably got 16 gigs of DDR4 in there from some other ancient system that I shucked. But he's showing a real interest. He's actually learning things about computing, so I won't have to worry about. And he gets out of college and into his first job, he doesn't know what a C drive is. Apparently, that's an issue with the current crop.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But yeah, so let's get him his first build. And the idea being for his birthday, we supply the components, and then he and I will have a thing to build together. And Grandma and Granddad have stepped up and volunteered to front half the bill. And I luckily have enough components laying around here to be able to slack the costs a bit. But Micro Center offering an AM4, which is last gen bundle for AMD systems, which uses DDR4 RAM, so saves you a little money in the old RAM apocalypse and can still
Yep.
run things very capably. $200 got you an AMD 5500 processor with a cooler, a motherboard with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all the good stuff, full-size ATX, and a 16 gig DIMM of DDR4 RAM for $200. That is damn good these days, and the reason I think that Micro Center encourages such loyalty among their customer base, because they're still trying.
Yeah.
In an age where components have become impossibly expensive, they're still trying to put together value for consumers. Maybe this is a lot of still stock that they may have had left over. I don't know, but I'm thankful that they exist. The one single stick, 16 gig DDR4 stick that came in this bundle was priced the same as the bundle, I think. So the sticker on the RAM says $199, which is what I paid for the whole bundle. That's insane. That would have probably cost you, I don't know, $30 a year
Yep.
ago.
Yeah, we screwed up by not hitting our micro centers and being the Nostra dumbasses and knowing this was going to happen and buying all this crap up. We could have been millionaires, Nick.
Should have been, right? But what can you do? Anyway, I'm glad they had the deal, and I was able. Cases are one place that are still very, very cheap these days, and actually much cheaper than when I was young, and much cooler. So I was able to get a 6-fan RGB Li Liang, I think it's pronounced, case for like $68 on sale.
Yeah,
So
those haven't really been hit. Too
yeah,
bad.
and I got a power supply. I have a couple capable GPUs laying around. I think I told you I might need to hit you up for another one of those 1080s if you got one. But at the end of the day, we'll able to do a full build for basically less than $400, which I think is about as good as you could possibly do these days.
Yeah, I don't think for what you're putting together, I don't think you can do too much better for that price.
Yeah, and he'll have something capable that hopefully should last him a good 3 or 4 years minimum, I would think. I mean, it'll be a capable 1080p system that'll play things well above 60 frames per second for the most part at that resolution. Is he going to be able to go into ray tracing in 4K? No, but fudge that noise.
He's 10. He
Uh,
doesn't need to.
exactly. Yeah, he can get a job and pay for it himself in the next system. But yeah, man, that place rules. I was intrigued. I really couldn't let it go. They have on the shelf in their gaming section was the white label clone of a clone system game console R36S emulation unit, and I was just too curious not to grab one.
Of course.
So $30, man, $30. Come on, that's fair, very fair for things that I see sold for 60 to 100 online all the time. Now, when I say clone of a clone, the original actual R36S is a clone system of an old Ambernick unit. But it's a very, very capable one. And it got down in the before times to as low as $19 on AliExpress. And I believe Microcenter were selling these for 60 and now they're 30. But these are actually a clone of that clone because nobody owns the rights to these things. So anybody with a board process and a plastic shell, can assemble these things and boom, just put it out there as the same white label product. Obviously, Microcenter have hooked up with one of these guys and ordered special variants because it came with basically 100 Famiclone no-name titles on it, and absolutely nothing else. But curiously, also, it came with a blank 100 gig micro SD card.
What?
If you know anything about PCs and Wyatt's expression there will tell you, there's not supposed to be such a thing as a 100 gig drive.
Nope.
That they don't go in those increments. It should be 128. So I plugged this micro SD console into my computer, probably against my better judgment. But
Yeah, you got to have a burner computer for that shit.
yeah, and no, it's a blank formatted FAT32 micro SD card that reported back 105 gigs of total storage with no other partitions. How is this possible?
I don't trust that still.
Right? So, looking into it a little further and digging into other people that have experienced such things on the internet, what I believe it to be is, you know how on AliExpress or now on eBay, even in places, you see like these external SSDs that are listed for impossibly cheap prices and like 4 terabyte, 8 terabyte,
just
for
flash drives inside?
$20. Yeah, and it all it is a metal shell with a literally glued micro SD card and controller board. And what they do is trick that controller board into reporting that it is 4 terabytes of storage. And it truly believes that, but there's still only 64 gigs of real storage on that micro SD card. So as you write it, it starts eating itself, basically. And once it gets back to the beginning, it starts overlapping again and again and again. And what you end up with is just a ton of garbage data. They've done something similar here. Whoever makes these no-name cheap micro SDs obviously has to test them for faults or bad sectors before they deploy whatever image is going onto them for whatever piece of hardware they're going to be, deployed into. I imagine that these are all the ones that tested with bad sectors, and they just physically, maybe, I don't know what the process would be, remove those sectors, or at least the controller's access to those sectors. So as far as the controller on the micro SD card is concerned, that extra 20 some gigs doesn't exist. Does this sound possible to you?
No. No.
According to the internet, that might be a thing. I'm just like so amused by the whole thing and the whole dance of consumer deception, that it was worth the $30 to have learned this much on its own. It also
You're a
uses
scientist.
it also uses a single soldered gig of RAM to the main board instead of two 512s, so you lose out on you're losing out on dual channel RAM.
Yep.
Which is important. So this clone will perform much worse on things like Dreamcast, N64, or anything with 3D.
You need dual channel.
Yep. So that's another cost-cutting measure. It's just amusing. But I guess the question, and I'm going to write an article about this, is are Microcenter, they're protecting themselves by allowing their customers access to this and not having it loaded with a bunch of Nintendo ROMs on them. But to the person that sees the commercial on TikTok or whatever and sees that Microcenter are carrying this thing, they get it home and think it's just some Famiclone loaded piece of shit. Where in actuality, it is still quite functional, but you're going to have to bring a full game set and know what you're doing.
That's a grandparent present. That's 100% the grandparent present that knows grandson loves video games, knows nothing about consoles or anything. I don't know why they ended up at a Microcenter, so I guess maybe not so much. Or maybe they go to Microcenter because they know that they have, tech stuff. And they see that, they see it's $30. I'm sure it advertises that it has X amount of games on it or whatever. And
I'd have to go check on the box, but it's in there with like the My Arcades of the world and things like that.
Yeah, those are the parent or the grandparent presents that don't understand the hobby, but still want to be supportive.
Yeah, and just your average YouTube watching, game lover might see it on the shelf there, I thought, and think, oh, cool, that's that thing I saw so-and-so talking about on his channel. I'll grab that, and then go, oh, this isn't that at all. I feel burned. I just wonder if
I saw Nick write an article about. I love him.
Well, hopefully I can shed some light on what you're going to get, and I will. But, fun times. I had fun at that store. It's the only one left. And despite some overly enthusiastic commission-based sales associates, it's a good overall for sure. And I'm happy that there's still a business that's paying guys commission, because back when I worked at Circuit City in 2002, 2003, grown men were able to support a family from those commission-based jobs, and then they got wiped out completely.
Well, yeah, because they paid too much money if you were good at it.
Yeah, the
gotta keep the man down, dude.
The guys that sold big screens in my store back in the day, this is like early plasma era, they made bank, dude. They made good money. And then I think they all got cut to like $15 an hour, which was supposed to be like, see, we're meeting you halfway.
Yeah.
We
realized that you were making way too much money.
On that gaming discussion leads us right into another one, picking
where
we left off last week. Oh, go ahead.
Wait.
Yes.
You also went to a store for yourself, and I was curious to hear more about that.
Oh, yeah. See, you get all the updates that aren't in the show notes.
Yeah.
So, as I'm often to do, being, as I said, this is like 30 minutes away from my house, I'll usually just like, once I've done my shufti in the store that I'm, intending to go for, let's see what else is in the area. So I'll just plug, thrift stores into my GPS, or just see what's in the immediate surrounding area. And like 0.2 miles away from this Microcenter was a mom and pop vinyl shop, just like a buy, sell, trade music store. And it was awesome. And everything you want an independent music store to be. I mean, it's just treasure hunting to the nines. I could have spent all day in there. I picked up a few records, talked to the guy for a minute. Really nice owner guy, very much, similar to us, I'm sure.
Loves his trade.
Yeah, definitely, I think probably working his passion. And seemingly hanging in there too, man. There was a good stream of people coming and going in the short amount of time that I was there, midday on a Thursday. So that makes me happy. And what did I get? I got new old stock of something that you'd appreciate, and sharp listeners to this podcast would know from our yacht rock exploration. I got a Christopher Cross's most famous release, the old Ride Like the Wind, sealed.
Maybe.
And yeah,
Unsealed it though, man. It lost all the
yeah,
value.
I opened up that bad boy from 1978 or whatever it was and played the hell out of it last night, and it sounded fantastic.
Man, you needed to send that in to get graded, dude.
I think it was I was probably doing him a favor, paying him the $10 that he was asking for it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that Christopher Cross album is probably one of the most mass-produced albums
Everybody
out there.
everybody had that Pink Flamingo cover in their record collection.
I think
man.
I have 2 in my collection.
There you go. And what else did I get? I got the original Motorhead demo on vinyl.
Ooh.
Prior to Fast Eddie Clark or anybody else joining the band. So it was like the pre lineup, very rough sketchings of post Hawkwind, pre Motorhead. That one's like actually a newer record that I wonder if I'll ever even open, to be honest. And then got a Stan Getz best of, because I'm a 40-year-old white dude who's fallen in love with jazz. Well, 40's doing myself a favor, but we don't need to go
I was going to
further
say,
than that.
you got some ages off there, buddy.
Yeah. But no, yeah, cool spot. I'll definitely go back. And I was actually talking to the guy like, hey, I have a shitload of my parents' records that I don't want, but you would probably have a market for, as they're mostly like early British poly pressings of Beatles singles and, you know, interesting things versus just, you know, your grandma's Ray
Herb
Conniff
Alpert.
Singers, or, you know,
Tijuana
Rosemary
Brass.
Clooney or something, you know. But if you've gotten what you need out of me on my record adventures,
I just wanted to, I was interested. I saw you post a picture outside the
Yeah,
store,
no,
and I
cool
saw you
store,
post
man.
a picture of spinning it.
Yeah, a lot of CDs and some tapes and laser discs and, you know, all the good shit that we love.
I'm surprised you're not into laser discs, honestly.
I almost bought a lot at Goodwill recently because it was a rare, like, actual cool find in the halls of Goodwill, and I think they were marked fairly reasonably at like $4 a piece or something. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'd love to own these, but I will never,
have no reason to.
ever play these. Ever. It will never happen. I'm not going to put on something that looks, you know, worse than a DVD. And I don't have the TV to display it to look at its best, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are Laserdiscs worse than DVD? They both 480p? I can't remember.
I think they're the same. Like, Laserdiscs for the time, I think, were pretty amazing.
They were for their time, for sure.
I did the same thing as you, except, I mean, this was probably a decade ago. I was at a Goodwill, and there was just an entire milk crate just stuffed with Laserdiscs, and I think they were 75 cents a piece. And I just didn't buy them because same thing. I'm like, this would be so cool, and then I could get a Laserdisc player, and this could be another thing I collect. And it was like, dude, I've got enough stuff that that I don't touch. Like, I still regret it because I can almost guarantee you at least a few of those in there were probably worth something, because it wasn't just like the things you would expect. It was some kind of niche stuff that was in there too that would have just been kind of cool to own. But I mean,
like, I'd love nothing more than to see Raiders of the Lost Ark in vinyl size format, like, you know, on my shelf. That's just cool. But the logistics of actually playing it, But it was same as you. Like, I went through a couple titles where I'm like, damn, that's probably worth a few bucks to collectors on this one. But my desire to engage in arbitrage is minimal.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think keeps me holding on to most of the stuff that I still own, whether it be video games or any other collectibles I have, is I don't want to deal with the public.
Yeah, that's honestly like why I have an obscene amount of emulation handhelds. It's not that I am hoarding them necessarily, though I have some of that in me, no doubt. It's that the hassle of selling something for 40 or 50 bucks, the juice isn't worth the squeeze to my mind. And I'm just like, I'll just hold on to it. Or send them to Wyatt so we can give them away. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. We will, at the end of the episode, push our giveaway once again. We've got a few people that have signed up and entered themselves in for the giveaway, so we'll bump that up at the end and see if we can get some more of you guys in there to hopefully win yourself a pretty fun little handheld.
Yeah, which begs the question, Wyatt. Have Xbox given away all their brand value?
Nice job.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
A recent Kotaku article quotes the man who was apparently brought in to right the ship of the Xbox branding, basically admitting that he can't come up with a compelling reason for consumers to pick Xbox over anything else, which is a huge problem for them, obviously. I don't think he's wrong.
To be fair, he did say, he said that for the last little bit, there was no real reason to buy an Xbox. And as we've seen, for the past couple months or so, I know we were a little harsh on the new Xbox CEO hire because of, her ties to AI and all that stuff. But she seems like she's made all the right moves so far.
Yes, but I, after this week's news, I question whether she is a figurehead full of good intentions who has been installed to fail because they're still going forward with massive layoffs in the coming weeks.
Oh, I think she was, and I think she is doing the best that she can with the hand she's dealt. I think some of the things that she's doing, even though she probably knows, as you said, that she's been placed in there to fail, she's done some good. And Xbox has decided, I don't know if it's in this article, I only had skimmed it, but Xbox had mentioned recently that they're going to pull back on doing their multi-plat titles because that's, again, what's the point of buying an Xbox if you can just buy an Xbox game on PS5?
Exactly,
yes,
and that's kind of the point.
You're getting the sales, but,
why that just dilutes your own brand, yeah. Yes, so, if I can have a PS5 and play all the exclusives over there and still pick up Gears of War, then what the hell am I going to spend another, now what, $750 on a Series X?
Yeah, so, this is a pretty terrible analogy here, but I'm going to make it anyways because it popped into my head. But, you have Xbox, one of their big games, you have Forza Horizon 6. It's cross-platform. You can play it on PlayStation. You can play it on PC. PC is not a different platform. It's different
Forza Horizon 6 came out on PS5?
I think it's coming out on PS5.
Wowzers, yeah. Damn. I knew Gears of War was making the move, but damn.
Let me, yeah, it's coming, I don't get the date yet, but yes, it is going to be coming to PS5. So there's one of your big reasons that people would buy an Xbox because that's a cornerstone game. So you can go ahead and pick it up on PS5. PlayStation and has,
Gears of War,
the Spider-Man games, stuff like that. They're not putting that stuff on Xbox. It's,
and have announced that they're not going to be releasing those titles for PC right away anymore either. Yeah.
Because it just didn't make sense to them. Because one, it's more time because it's not as easy as just, being like, okay, here's the source code. We're just going to put it here. So you got more development costs. They weren't really seeing a huge amount of sales when it came to PC stuff. The PC games weren't coming out for 6 to 12 months after the game originally came out. So there's...
Yeah, and you're seeing increased development costs. That's why you'll often see ports handed off to third parties because... You're taking this game developed for PS5 and now having to make it work for infinity different hardware setups. That's not a small amount of work.
No. But yeah, like I was saying, it's more or less when you look at politics, you get one side that's like, let's reach across the aisle and try and do things together because if we work together, everybody, a high tide raises all ships. And then the other side goes, fuck you.
So there's that's the old Simpsons,
yeah, the Democrat and
we can't govern. Yeah.
We're evil. But it's the same thing. And you got Xbox for whatever reason, and I think the Xbox and Nintendo kind of partnership that they did a little bit, which again was just Xbox putting games like Ori on Switch. It makes a little more sense because in my mind, Nintendo isn't competing with PlayStation and Xbox. I know they are, and that's a stupid comment to make, but Nintendo famously only keeps their first party games on their console. If you want to play Nintendo games, you're buying a Nintendo.
That's Xbox where all of their value is derived from by now. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Xbox and PlayStation, for the most part, they're interchangeable, especially when you have Xbox that started putting all their first party titles over on PlayStation. Why wouldn't you just buy a PlayStation? Because then you can play the first party Sony titles that they don't put anywhere else, aside from PC for some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a good move for Xbox to kind of take a step back and be like, wait a minute. If we actually do want to stay in this whole quote unquote console war thing, we need to start acting like we're a hardware company and not just publishing software.
Yeah, the
Which,
whole this is an Xbox
yeah,
thing
when
floundered.
you buy every single developer, I mean, you kind of back yourself into a corner because you got to try and make that money. So I can see the both sides. Like, we want to put these games out on other systems because we just spent billions of dollars acquiring this company, and now if we're just going to silo it only onto Xbox, we're never going to make that money back.
Right. Well, you're a publicly traded company whose investors expect
Yep.
ROI
More,
on your
more.
$4 billion Activision spend or whatever it is, and they want it now. And that's the
I hate
the crux
capitalism.
of all modern business. Yeah.
Dollar sign must go up, never go down. That you can only make more money. It's never enough.
Machine go brrr.
Yep. But yeah, it's not a great look, like you said, for the guy brought in to, fix Xbox to be like, yeah, there's no reason to buy an Xbox. But I don't know. I think we had this conversation a few episodes ago. We don't need more consoles. I don't know. Like, obviously, it's going to be something that goes on forever. But like we said, we're at the point of diminishing returns. What more are we going to get? Better ray tracing? Like, graphics don't need to get any better. We need better gameplay, and that doesn't necessarily need the biggest and newest system.
Well, I mean, and I think she came out and said as much the other day, just faced with the current hardware landscape, as we're just talking about with Microcenter. It's being in an arms race is no longer financially viable unless you're going to ask consumers to start paying triple what they're used to for a console. It's just not. So they have to get creative, and you're going to see some sort of hybrid system out next from Xbox that will be Switch adjacent or Steam Deck ish.
They already tried.
That's where they have to go.
Didn't you get one of the Logitech? Did you get the Xbox branded Logitech or
no? Asus.
Sorry, Asus.
Yeah, the Asus ROG Xbox Ally.
Yeah.
Which is, for all intents and purposes, a Steam Deck. It's a different name of the same chip on the internals, but it's got Xbox branding. It has Xbox style controls. And the thing of that is, it's kind of a test run, I think.
Absolutely, to see if it's viable.
Yeah, and what they call the Xbox Windows experience or full screen experience, when it works, it actually works pretty well. But to my mind, running Windows on a handheld is still a freaking nightmare. Even if it is an x86 handheld.
Yeah, I don't know. Windows is for a desktop PC or a laptop if you need to use it in a corporate environment. I don't use it. I don't need it on a handheld. It's not. Yeah, I mean,
I can install SteamOS on this thing just as easily as anything, but I have a Steam Deck, so it's like I just haven't bothered.
Yeah. Why would you put a hat on a hat?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's how they'll stay alive, is retaining exclusivity and being creative in the market. That's what Nintendo has made their business of. Like, it doesn't always work, as we see with Wii U, but then when it does work with the DS or the Switch, holy shit, does it work. And I just think that they have to be more creative because, like, diminishing returns, who cares what it looks like? We've gotten good enough.
Yeah, I just want fun games. And I don't know, maybe, excuse me, maybe it's because, we grew up from the Atari generation to where we are now. So it's like, we've seen the entirety of how video games have come, essentially. But, excuse me, I need to take some water. But, yeah, I don't know.
I think the people that are younger adults in their 20s and maybe early 30s, what have you, have different expectations and maybe are the ones a little more that want to see that bleeding edge pushed envelope, and that's what's cool in gaming. Removed from that, I think I brought this up a couple weeks ago, you take kids my son's age, and a game is a game is a game, and they don't give a damn.
Well,
fun is fun.
The Gen Z and the 20s and early 30s, there's been plenty of articles talking about how they're going back. That's part of the reason why 3DS prices and all of these physical cartridge systems are going back up, because they want to go back to physically owning stuff and, playing games that way. So,
And longing for a simpler time with less bullshit involved.
right, where
Yeah.
you don't I picked up Saros, the PS5 game by Housemarque, who did Returnal. I picked it up from the library, and for whatever reason, because very rarely, I guess, play games on my PS5, or really even the newest stuff unless it's on my PC. Like, I always forget when I put a disc in, I then have to wait 35 minutes for it to install and download, the game
Oh yeah,
onto
I
the
mean,
system.
there might be content on that disc, but even so, you're now
Most
at a
of them are
higher
just a key
level
now.
where it's just a key to download the game in full because you're so patched from whatever was actually contained on that disc, if there was anything in the first place.
Could you imagine how bummed out we would have been as kids owning our Game Boys and going and picking up, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, sit in the back seat of our car, getting ready to go on a trip. You put Zelda in, you turn it on, and it says downloading, and it takes, 35 minutes for you to be able to play it. Yeah. Like, I, I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
would suck.
That's old man Wyatt shaking his fist at a cloud there, but
Oh, I mean that's we always sit down. It's like, all right, it's 8 o'clock on Thursday night. We got 3 hours to dedicated time to play with each other online, and fuck, there's a fucking 30 gig update. Oh well, well we tried.
and my internet crapped out, so
Yeah,
I guess now, yeah, we'll try it again in a couple months.
and that's it. That's how it go.
Speaking about how it go,
Years.
Larry David's coming back
That's
with
my
a new
guy.
show.
Yes, he is. New HBO show, I think
A
too,
new
right?
HBO show. Yeah, it is not. It's not more Curb Your Enthusiasm, except it seems like Curb Your Enthusiasm, except based on American history.
Yeah, it's called Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Happiness, and
Unhappiness.
oh, excuse me, the Pursuit of Unhappiness, of course. This is Larry
It's Larry
David we're
David.
talking about, yes. And essentially it's him acting with, I'm guessing, a cameo star in each thing and recreating
Multiple.
a famous scene from history, and it kind of looks a lot like Drunk History with Larry David, honestly.
Apparently, Michelle Obama is an executive producer on the show too.
Nice. I think it's going to be him, playing historical figures of some note and just larrying it up, as it were.
Like
Eh.
like you said, it's Larry David's version of Drunk History. Just he's not drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he famously doesn't drink in real life, I don't believe. And
No.
yeah, they're leaning on the Seinfeld connection again, which I don't know if that's him or the
Disappointing, but
insistence of the network. But yeah,
uh,
I mean, I like quoting Mr. Bobcat Goldthwait, who said the funniest thing Jerry Seinfeld ever did in his life was become friends with Larry David.
yep.
I'm very much of the opinion that the magic of Seinfeld is entirely attributable to Larry David, and you can see how much the show started to suck as soon as he left, and they hired 9 more writers to replace him, and it's still way worse.
I mean,
But
did you watch that Jerry Seinfeld Netflix Pop-Tart movie?
no, I was like, everybody was like, God, that was such an unwatchable piece of shit
Yes,
that I
it
was
was.
like,
It was
well, I don't
absolutely
know
terrible.
I don't know Seinfeld a damn thing, so I'm quite happy to not watch it. Yeah, I mean, his stand-up away from the show Seinfeld, I always thought, even in the 90s, was terrible.
Yeah.
He sold out
What's the
arenas
deal with that?
yeah, he sold out arenas just showing up and doing Hello Newman on stage, and I'm not
Yep.
joking. Um, yeah, he sucks. But the show I have extremely high hopes for, and Larry David is a once a lifetime comedic talent, and he's one of those guys that's so universally. I think those who don't find him too over the top often think of themselves as a version of Larry David. Many a man has. Um, but nobody's actually really like that, or at least I
No,
hope not.
Larry David is. There's one Larry David.
Yeah, well, the Curb version is an
Yes,
extremely
no.
inflated
Yeah.
version of his natural personality. It's not like he goes around being a complete dickhead in these situations all the time. But I do admire his,
Frankness.
yes, his ability to read things, and I certainly relate to calling out seemingly asinine things that are a big deal to me and nobody else, basically.
It's going to be fun. I mean, it looks like there's going to be a crap ton, like we said, of cameos from famous people. John Hamm, Sean Hayes, Isla Fisher, Susie Essman, Greg Kinnear, Lin-Manuel Miranda, unsurprisingly, is going to be making a cameo in it. Chris Parnell. I think there was a few others I remember seeing in the quick 2-minute trailer. But, who wouldn't want to be part of a Larry David project? I mean, it's probably so easy for him to find these people to hop on this.
Oh yeah, and it's skit comedy, so it's not like it's a long commitment or anything
Yeah.
like that. So they probably go in for 2-3 days, and that's their contribution to the whole thing. And if there's another season, maybe we can do it again. Perfect.
And it's actually coming out sooner than I thought. Looks like it is premiering on June 26th. So we're two weeks from recording today.
Well, I guess they want to get it out before the 250, right?
Maybe they'll have an episode dedicated to it.
Let us hope.
Because the second episode will be on July 3rd, so
I imagine there might be some crossover there.
I hope so. But yeah. There's not a whole lot more meat on the bone with that. Like I said, it was a quick 2-minute trailer, but it was just announced, and I think both of us are pretty excited for it, and I'm sure we will be watching and talking about it in the future.
Also shocked that I don't have any Larry David drops. How is that possible?
Do you have any Jeff Garland drops?
I do not.
Oh. Well, I guess in that case, we're just going to have to move on to Pokemon.
So, in a absolute huge shock to everyone out there, Wyatt.
Oh my god, I couldn't believe this. I called you. I never talked to you on the phone. I dialed your number up in the middle of the night when I read this, and I woke you out of bed, and we just needed to talk about this because it was the most surprising thing I have ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, this was Wyatt on the phone.
This guy. Can you believe it? Can you freaking believe
it? So, is it Niantic? Are they the developers?
Yeah.
Of Pokemon Go it has come out, started shopping the massive amounts of data that their players have harvested for them, and including such uses as non-GPS based missile targeting.
I cannot believe that. That is so surprising.
So you had millions and millions and millions of users using their camera to physically map out an on-foot, basically map of the world. It's like Google Street View for everywhere the cameras can't get to. How convenient. And with your catching cute creatures around the back corner of this building or this alley or this park, you've mapped out everywhere for this company who is now going to sell all of that data for any purpose they can, basically. You have to make your own peace with that. It seemed insanely obvious that was the whole purpose of the thing to me. People aren't just nice handing you over a fun game to play for free. And if this is the case of, if there's no cost to the product, you are the product. I would say in this case, you might actually not be.
No,
maybe they're not selling your personal data. You're just doing the work for them. Yeah.
You're doing the legwork so you can go catch your Chauncey in front of a middle school that, needs to be mapped.
Yeah. It's...
How do people not realize this? Like, I understand that, we're maybe a little bit higher than the average tech user, but who thinks that it was just like for the fun of it?
This is just a gesture of goodwill kind of thing put out into the world for free.
Maybe I wish I was naive enough to just be able to go about, my day in the world and not be the cynical jerk who looks at the, the reason behind almost everything and be like, oh yeah, we've talked about this before.
Money.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm very surprised, and I could have sworn, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you don't remember this, but didn't this news come out years ago? Why is it breaking news again?
That's what I wanted to ask you, probably because they have defense sales lined up or something, but this has been around. Pokemon Go has been around for how long? I mean, a decade?
A decade?
Yeah.
It's got to be getting close to, what is it? It's 2026? Yeah, it's got to be close to a decade.
So the amount of just sheer raw data that they must be sitting on has to just be incredible. But yeah, I remember when it came out, it's like, guys, don't you think they're probably doing this for less cool purposes than you finding a Charizard. But I think that was speculation on the part of tech journalists, and the company releases a nice PR statement that, as journalism does these days, just gets rabbited on, and everybody goes back to what they were doing. I don't know. I've never played it. I know that there are lots of people that enjoy it, and good for them, but it does kind of suck that they're being used.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like it will be 10 years on July 6th, so we're coming up on a decade of Pokemon Go.
Yeah. And it's like, well, that's what really sucks too, is like, I, as a consumer, maybe I really love Pokemon and really love Pokemon Go. I would rather say, like, hey, how about I give you guys $20 for a license to play this, and you don't use any of the data that, I'm now farming for you.
Give a way to opt out.
There's never going to be an opt out.
No, absolutely, because it is infinitely more valuable to harvest the data than to make a $20 one-time sale, or even a $5 a month.
Is worth jack shit compared to the amount of data that I've generated for them. Yeah, of course.
Because you sell that data to a defense contractor, and bada bing, bada boom, there's billions of dollars probably right there.
Yeah, I don't know anything about anything and haven't lived a former life, but
nope, you sure haven't.
GPS free targeting data is pretty valuable.
It's just one of your hobbies that you happen to know some stuff about.
Yeah, you can jam GPS signals, well. Anyway, if we can get on to perhaps some happier news that is not about Techpocalypse.
Let's talk about the Nintendo Direct. Did you get a chance to watch it? I know you said you wanted to wait to watch it with your son. I assume by this point you guys watched it probably as soon as he came home.
Yep. So I had promised Boy at the bus stop that morning. Well, not the bus stop. I think it was we're off on our way to camp these days. Summertime that it is. But promised him I wouldn't indulge in watching the Direct until he got back, and try and shield myself from spoilers as best I could. But we know that's not possible. Yeah. But though I suppose one major announcement that they came out with was a full-fledged remake of Ocarina of Time, and I'm trying my best.
The worst kept secrets ever.
Yeah, everybody knew it was coming. I'm trying to think of any other major headlines, and as we're in recording
Kingdom Hearts
mode right
4?
now, I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, I'm surprised that's being made. Good, I guess, for fans of the series, but took 20 years for the third one to come out, and I still haven't gotten around to playing it, but definitely in my backlog, Buster Brothers, because I think I own it on 2 different consoles via library sales.
But, I mean, I've got a list in front of me of some of the things that I thought were important, but
shoot it.
They came out with the Kingdom Hearts collection, which is 1 through 3, which is going to come out on Switch 2, so that way you can, I mean, if you have a lot of time to dedicate every day, you can get caught up to Kingdom
Isn't that
Hearts
series
4.
like horribly...
It's like 18 games.
Yeah, but you got like Birth by Sleep, and then like 1.5 half-release point package, like all the weird Japanese break-it-down stuff. I played the first 2 games, period. That's all I've ever played in the series. They were brilliant, but I haven't played anything since.
And then you got like HD 2.8 with Knuckles Final Chapter remix.
Yeah. It got very convoluted.
Yes. So we got that. There's going to be a new Nintendo Switch Sports.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to have 12 sports. We're going to have your favorite boxing, table tennis, archery, tennis, volleyball, bowling, basketball, golf, thumb wrestling, and skateboarding. Thumb wrestling, Nick.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. That could be one of those things that ends up being kind of fun, actually.
I'm sure it will be. All of them will be fun. Nintendo does these little mini game, like, we control games so well.
Well, the Switch Sports sucked. I have no problem saying that, because Switch was not a motion control system, and thus it was a complete compromise on the entire experience. If anybody wasn't around during the Wii launch, Nintendo Sports, or Wii Sports rather, was a phenomenon. It was everybody was playing Wii bowling.
It took over nursing homes. I worked at a nursing home back when the Wii came out, and in the activity rooms, you would have literally from the activities assistants to grandma who's 93 years old and can't get out of her wheelchair. Were playing Wii bowling and absolutely having a blast.
Yeah, and that's where their genius is in its total accessibility. Oh, this is familiar. I see a person swinging their arm to throw a bowling ball, and the person on screen does that. I know how to do that. Okay, maybe this is a game I could play. that's how it took off. And then Wii Sports Resort, which added the Motion Plus attachment for the Wiimotes, was just a refined, better version in every metric, in my view. And I don't know about you. I know bowling was always the big thing, but archery was by far my favorite thing out of all the Nintendo sports games.
I liked archery, but because I am who I am, I really enjoyed baseball.
Fair.
But
archery was always
fun.
like archery was always like if we would have a bunch of people over and I would cook a bunch of barbecue and just like a summer evening. Archery was like, all right, it's 11 o'clock, half the people have left, and those that are still here are pretty well drunk. So let's fire that up and go to the, shooting arrows in an updraft volcano level. And it was just fun as shit. What a great party game.
I am excited to play that. That's probably one of my most exciting announcements that came out. Do you remember seeing the DK challenge that they're now doing?
Nah, but I also scooted into the kitchen throughout the direct to start dinner, so I can't say that I saw everything while he was watching it.
So Nintendo apparently has no desire to ever do an achievements-based system, like
trophies
Sony
or
has
Xbox
trophies
or whatever,
Xbox achievements. Yeah. For whatever reason, Nintendo doesn't want to do them. I don't really care, but they're doing a limited time DK challenge event where you can play the different Donkey Kong games and you can collect these random achievements with digital collectible challenge cards. And of course, it's a limited time mode. Nintendo loves making fun things like Tetris 99, whatever the Super Mario
99?
Brothers. It was Mario 99.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, the Super Mario Brothers Battle Royale. Like, they create these really super fun things that people seem to love the hell out of.
And then take them away from you.
Yep. Which, this is going to be the same thing. Like, I probably won't really do any of this unless I'm playing a Donkey Kong game otherwise, because, I don't know, it's definitely not geared towards me. But, I'd like to think with the way that Nintendo does some stuff that maybe it's like a trial run and they see if this is super popular, that maybe they, flesh things out a little bit.
They've kind of, sort of, a little done it with stamps in a lot of their first
that's true.
party titles, but it's not across your Nintendo account. It is just limited to that game, uniquely kind of thing. But I'd love to see them implement it, honestly. I like achievements. They're fun. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right when you get that little doo-doo. I love Retro Achievements, which is a community-based service that exists for emulation for all the old systems.
Did you ever play, and maybe this will end up being a Backlog Buster Brothers assignment for you someday, and I think it actually is in your backlog, but did you ever play Undertale?
No, but it is in my backlog, and I do own it. Yeah.
Okay. So, there is a kind of companion game that goes along with Undertale called Deltarune, and the game has been released in chapters, and Chapter 5 was just announced, and it's going to be coming out, I believe, the end of June. I'm super excited for that. Toby Fox, I believe, is the sole developer of the original Undertale. I assume at this point he probably has other people helping him, but games are super fun. If you enjoy your Super Nintendo Earthbound style, just kind of grounded but fantastical RPG type game with kind of a unique play style, like, I don't, you'll enjoy the heck out of it. Star Fox, they did another trailer for Star Fox, which is coming out in a couple weeks. I believe a demo was just released the night after, so if anyone's interested in the new Star Fox game but isn't sure if they're actually going to enjoy it, go ahead and download the free demo, and I think you get like a training mode and then probably one of the first missions to try out. A new Final Fantasy game.
It's so juicy.
What?
There's a new Final Fantasy game coming out, Final Fantasy Resonance, which is going to be HD 2D, the first HD 2D new Final Fantasy game coming out. I'm pretty excited about that. That's coming out in October. I wanted to save the best for last because I know this is the one that you're going to be most excited about. On October 9th, for both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, we're going to be getting Hello Kitty Party Land.
Ah, well, I had been waiting for that for quite some time, so...
I knew you would be. It's going to have solo play, local and online multiplayer, over 140 Sanrio Hello Kitty characters, and you're going to have 16 fan favorite partners available with 40 character themed minigames, custom avatars, and more. I cannot wait for this game, and I know you are so pumped. Maybe we'll live stream this game. This will be our first Let's Play that we do.
Maybe it's really fun and we shouldn't yuck other people's yums who like Hello Kitty. That's obviously not for us, Wyatt.
I'm not yucking anyone's yum. I love anything that's a Mario Party styled minigame fest.
Oh god, Mario Party sucks.
See? Now we're going to definitely play this when it comes out, and we're going to stream it, and everyone's going to love it.
You can win every single mini game and still get hosed by the stupid stars.
Well,
game.
The new ones you can actually shut off the randomness, and it actually is just purely skill at that point, unless you get... Actually, yeah, I think you can even change the mini games so it's not the random games and you only play the skill-based ones.
So many of the games, like, repeat themselves, too. It's annoying as shit. Like, why did I just spend another $70 on this? And it's like, oh, this one has 12 games and doesn't include, like, a lot of the backlog of the previous... I don't know, I just hate that. That entire series is a cash grab. I hate it. I want to play the stock market Monopoly one that you and John were telling me about.
Fortune Street?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play that this fall.
Yeah.
There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up that actually isn't on here and isn't related to the Nintendo Direct, but a new Crazy Taxi game was announced, and people are absolutely going crazy over a new Crazy Taxi game, and then within 5 minutes, everyone got very mad because it was disclosed that they used some AI, generative AI, to work on the game.
For real? No shit.
For real. Yeah. Yeah.
Shocker. Yeah, Sega really shooting themselves in the foot on this one. Like, just lie. For Christ's sakes. The game's not out yet. Just lie. Unless you told a prompt, like, hey, here's some code, program the rest for me, make it look like this. At this point, like, I'm not happy about it either. But why are you walking into this fire? You're just gonna get destroyed over this. Like,
I think it's obviously there's risk analysts, and they were like, all right, how many people are going to revolt that this says it's AI versus how many sales are we going to make? Does it really matter compared to how much money we might be able to save by not having our coders have to deal with this stuff? Like, obviously, it's all a numbers game at that point. Like, they figured that there aren't going to be enough people mad about it that it's going to make them lose any money.
I think that that's probably valid, and I also wonder if there's just such a disconnect from John Q. Consumer and dudes in the boardroom that are like, what? We love AI. Everybody loves AI. The future! We're going to look cool.
I mean, I think that's probably a given at this point.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that people in boardrooms are pretty much as far away removed from us as they could be.
I don't even think it's boardrooms. I think it's just the adherence to the cult of Silicon Valley at this point.
That's why you need to watch *Halt and Catch Fire*.
There you go.
Watch the Silicon Prairie. But also there's a remake coming out of the first Tomb Raider game, which also disclosed that they were using generative AI. And I guess maybe it was a CEO or someone involved in Crystal Dynamics. He was sat down in an interview, and someone pressed him about the whole AI use, and he tried to just give it. It was very clear. I wish I had the video up, and I'll find it for you, and we can talk about it later. But he was on video being interviewed. They asked him about the generative AI thing. It was very clear he was coached on what to say to this, so he gave the answer. And then the interviewer, who no one ever really seems to do in journalism anymore, the interviewer posed a follow-up question to try to make him explain himself more, and he really couldn't.
Shocking.
Yeah,
I thought we just take every statement as gospel and then reprint it exactly as it's been told to us, and just act like what they're saying isn't completely ridiculous and bullshit.
There are still some good journalists out there, and I really appreciated seeing that video of the journalist pressing them more on the subject.
It's your job!
Yeah. But so many don't anymore because so many quote-unquote journalists have just become PR people for these companies.
Yeah, just you've been brought into the fold and treated well, and so you're not going to speak out against an otherwise good, quote, company. They've never done anything bad to me.
Yeah. That's why us here at We Don't Have It Yet, we will never sell our integrity for less than $5 a month. If you give us $5 a month, we will say whatever you want about your company.
I will shill the hell out of you. Yeah. Nice. I left my integrity back in Baltimore. Shit.
Well, you're speaking about Baltimore, and I think we need to get
Little
into a segment where
segue
we can
into
talk some more
everybody's-
about Baltimore.
Little segue into everybody's favorite segment. All right. Well, what time is it? It's time for.
What time is it? It's time to get ill. I knew you were a Beastie Boys fan.
I know.
Well, I
So-
mean, you assigned me a movie that was done by Oscilloscope, who was owned by MCA of Beastie Boys.
Is he the?
You
is
love
he
the
guy,
Beastie Boys.
Was he the guy that's? Is that the dead one?
Yes, that is the dead one.
I think he was the talent in the group.
I mean, he was the driving force behind
Yes,
the Beastie Boys.
it's
He
the
was
one-
the visionary.
It's the one guy that I really hate. This Beastie
Michael Diamond?
Mike D. Yeah, he sucks and cannot rap. And that's my argument against the Beastie Boys. Can't rap. How about that? They were right place, right time, right producer, right color for the time. And nice Jewish boys hooked up with Rick Rubin and were very marketable in this new thing called hip hop. Did they get better as they age? Maybe, but Nick doesn't care because he had to listen to Brass Monkey.
That's not
Sorry,
my fault.
Wyatt.
And that's
Sorry,
not their
Wyatt.
fault either. That's one of their worst songs.
Yeah, next to the 5,000 other terrible songs. Oh, you're going to tell me Girls is a good song?
No,
You're gonna
Girls
tell me-
suck. You're naming stuff off their first album that absolutely blows.
But imagine if I felt that way about their entire... Ooh.
But
We
you
can get off of
shouldn't.
this. Agree to disagree. It's just
No,
never going to be my thing.
I am standing firm
Oh,
here.
no. Okay, all right. I'll give you one. What was the early 2000s? The New York You Make It Happen song. Pretty
Oh.
clever little fun chorus lines there. The verses are almost offensively bad. And I think you disagree, but it came on something the other day, and I'm like, this is why I don't care for you guys.
They care for you, Nick.
I'm sure
They
they're
care
nice
for you.
fellas. They did a lot of good work for the Dalai Lama and stuff back in the day. You know, free Tibet. I'm on board with their causes. They seem to be decent humans. I think maybe some of their 90s do-goodery was making up for some things that they're glad are not in the public eye from their earlier days.
I mean, they
But-
flatly came out and admitted we were awful and we're
Yeah.
sorry and we want to try to be better. So they definitely have owned their past misdeeds.
But getting off
Anyway.
of that pivot and into the movie produced or distributed by Oscilloscope, you watched an assignment I gave you about that takes place in my hometown, town of birth, town of my first 36 years of life, Baltimore. You watched 12 O'Clock Boys.
They did. It was a very interesting documentary about how old is he at the beginning? I don't know if was he probably like 11, 12 maybe?
I think he's supposed to be 11. I think you follow him from either 10 or
3
11
years,
up
yeah.
to 14. So let's say 11 to 14.
Okay, yeah. So a preteen boy who it's very clear he has no like male influences in his life. He has his mother who seems like she is struggling to keep up with her family. She loses her oldest son, I guess due to an asthma attack, which sounds absolutely awful. And they show the funeral, and it's a lot. The entire movie's a lot. And so it's this little boy named Pug who just idolizes this group called the 12 O'Clock Boys, who are a bunch of dirt bike riders throughout Baltimore. Dirt bikes, four-wheelers, and I guess they just take off through the streets. Is it just a Sunday thing, or it seemed like they were just doing it whenever the hell they got together?
The pack is a Sunday thing. Outside of that, you might see small groups here, there, and everywhere. But the Sunday ride is like, it's not really, and somebody will know more than this about me. I don't think it's centrally organized group that are, we're the 12 O'Clock Boys. That's just a term for getting the bike up to 12 o'clock.
They
calls it
said
at the
that.
beginning.
They said that in the middle of the documentary, and I thought it was a really well done documentary. There was one point where I think his name is Wheelie Wayne, maybe. He was, I guess, supposed to be like the leader of the 12 O'Clock Boys.
He's not a leader, but he's like the OG.
He's looked up to.
Yeah, well, these guys were trading like DVDs back in the day of tapes of all the stuff they were doing, and then it just hit at exactly the right time that when YouTube exploded, boom, here's our culture, everybody. And, people from all over the world were becoming obsessed with what the hell these guys were doing on these illegal dirt bikes on the streets of the city.
Uh, so Wayne was mentioning something like, during the week, like these guys, we're part of different gangs, different factions, East Baltimore, West Baltimore. We're always, fighting and stuff.
Mhm.
People getting killed, people getting the crap kicked out of them. Then Sunday rolls around, and we're just one big group. It doesn't matter which part you are. Like dirt bikes and stuff. That's who we are. We're the 12 o'clock boys. And, we're just going through town, and it was just like having a unifying thing is just so awesome. Like, I know it was
Yeah.
such a small part of the documentary, but just hearing something like that, like, yeah, the rest of the week we are mortal enemies, and then at the end of the week we realize we all share this one thing, and we all just want to have fun together, and we want to
Yeah,
do
it's
this
like,
stuff.
fuck it, we ride. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
climbing out of the trenches of warfare on Christmas Day to play a game of soccer, Axis
yeah, on
versus
Christmas Day.
Allies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was well, I won't say it was a hard watch. I mean, it wasn't a happy documentary. It was never meant to be. It was just documenting this stuff that happens. Pug definitely had some trouble over the 3 years.
He got dealt a shit hand pretty much,
He,
yeah.
he absolutely did.
Yeah.
He got suspended. He was getting suspended from school multiple times for getting into fights. He was skipping school. All he really wanted to do is he wanted to make an en route with all these dirt bikers. His mom would basically tell him to, stay put, and he would just take off and he would go find wherever they were. If they were blasting down the streets, he'd be down on the sidewalk trying to get them to stop to let him go with them. Uh, and as you see through the years, he does make his inroads with them. He gets to be part of the group kind of, and then he gets his dirt bike stolen because some older guy or older kid decides, hey, can I use it?
He
And
was dumb enough to let a kid on it. Yeah, I
Yep.
think his mom smacks the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah,
He's like,
she
well,
beat
how do you
the
take it? He's like,
crap
I
out
let
of
him
him.
on it. And she just goes, whack!
She's like, I let him hold it. Yeah. And she's like,
Yeah.
I taught you. And then all his friends are there laughing at him because he's getting smacked.
But I think it's an important dose of reality
Oh,
too, when
absolutely.
all of a sudden you're at the end of this movie now riding in the back of a van with this 13-year-old kid at 3 a.m. as they go to break into the shed where his bike
Yep.
was stolen from him, is now being held, and he's now committing burglary and breaking into this thing to get his
Yep.
bike back. And it's just like, this should be hopefully eye-opening for a lot of people. Just different way of life in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And just seeing, like, I really enjoyed, like, some of the older guys with the younger kids. I can't remember which guy it was. But he was like, yeah, on the weekends sometimes, we find these old abandoned warehouses or whatever, and we just take the kids over there. We take our dirt bikes or four wheelers up there. We're not doing anything illegal. We're not on the streets. We're just riding around having fun. And it's like,
Well, that was kind of the interesting dichotomy, I suppose,
yeah,
in the whole thing, is that you have these guys that I think reach a certain age and start to understand the influence that they have in these kids' lives, that they look
yep,
up to them oftentimes as the male role figures in their lives. And yeah, that one dude I know who you're talking about in particular was,
he was
very
awesome.
much, yeah, an awesome dude of like, I will take you to go learn about this and do
Yep.
it safely because these guys over here are nuts. This is dangerous as shit. Like, let's at least get you out somewhere with a helmet on, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then there was definitely some death in the documentary. There was talk of, I think it was Officer Lemon. I think he ends up becoming like a security guard or something. And
Yeah.
one of the guys was telling the story about how he was trying to get away from the cops because the idea was whenever the cops are coming after him, they were not supposed to chase these guys.
It's
Because
illegal
it's
for them
just
to pursue.
yeah,
Yeah, them in a
and it's
SWAT car
dangerous.
versus a dirt bike. They can go
Yeah,
around a corner that the car can't, and the car is going to swerve out and take out 5 people on the street.
yep.
Guess what the
So
VCPD do anyway?
Yeah, which clearly it's talked about and shown multiple times on video that they were still doing. But so this guy was on his bike trying to get away, and supposedly the cop went up on the curb and followed him, hit his back tire, and launched him into the air and just killed him. But the story he told was, he was trying to get away and then he wasn't paying attention and just ran into the front of a car and launched
Oh yeah,
himself.
they say it multiple times throughout the thing. Is like they would have ran him down, they would have seen him dead in the
Yep,
street, and they would have
and just
carried
left
on
him.
and laughed at him, kind of thing. And it's like, on one hand, like, yeah, these guys are not supposed to be doing what they're doing, but when you start to look at it from this perspective of they've grown up in every aspect of their life has been a head-on battle with
Yeah,
these authority figures that they're supposed to, say are protecting them and respecting them and all this stuff. And yeah, like here's 5 different examples of people that got killed because they were just run down. Um, it's it's a sociological lens that people should watch. I think a lot of people are ignorant to
Absolutely.
a lot of stuff and just want to paint people with the broadest of brushes, and that's the way it is.
Yeah,
But
it was very complicated. Basically, as you said, like
Yeah.
it's a very complicated situation. Yes, these guys are riding these dirt bikes illegally through the streets of Baltimore, but like this is their way to bond. This is their group. Yes, it's illegal, and there was some stuff that I don't really know the full story about. The 6-year-old that was sent to the hospital that got hit, by a
Mhm.
dirt bike, like.
oh,
The
that
way
shit
other
happens too, man. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no
Like
doubt.
it's just like yeah, you guys need to be smarter about it, but also it's kind of like at least they're not out, I don't know.
Well, you
I
would
don't
see,
know.
like, during mayoral races, they would be like, we're going to build them a track so they have a place to go. And people are like, well, that's kind of insane because you can't even patch the roads around here. Like, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. So it's acknowledged as an issue that there's no black and white solution to because it's not
So
a black
I
and white
mean,
issue. Yeah.
yeah, that's the same thing like with and I think that would probably be a great idea if, obviously if you guys could take care of the roads there first and take care of the other stuff, but same with like illegal street racing. If you give a lot of these people access to a drag strip,
Yeah.
they're going to go to the drag. If you give them the facilities to do stuff, they're going to go use them because people aren't stupid. Yes, they're trying to find the thrill and they're trying to do the things, but if you're not giving people access to do the things that they want to do, they're gonna make it happen. So give them, a drag strip to do things, and give them stands and crowds, and stands where you can get burgers and crap and stuff, and people are gonna go.
Yeah,
So-
everybody wants to have a weekend track car that they could take and show up people at the drag race with others
Yeah.
watching. That's like the whole culture. And it's funny you bring that up because predating 12 o'clock and all the four-wheeler and dirt bike stuff, there was definitely, or probably born out of the Fast and Furious and street racing culture at the time. There was a huge street racing scene, especially like hatchbacks and stuff in Baltimore at the time. And we used to go out Friday nights and watch some of the races. It was insanely fucking dangerous. Especially when the cops show up and everybody fans out in a million different directions and is no regard for anything. And nobody seemed to be clutching their pearls quite as much at that. And I find that interesting.
were the people photo negative of the people that were in this movie?
No, it was definitely a mix. But there were actual photo negatives, like me. Not that I brought a car or had anything to do with it. I just showed up because it was a place to hang out where I could just watch cool shit going on, not really thinking about how it was probably dangerous as hell.
Well, you were young. You didn't
Yes.
think about stuff. You were invincible. It didn't matter. And
Yeah, that's where I went to buy
probably
pot.
part of it. Yeah. Exactly. There you go. And this is, probably part of it too. Is when you're younger, you think you're invincible, so you're gonna go
It
do
is.
this stuff. You're doing a 12 o'clock wheelie. Basically, have your ass dragging on the ground doing a wheelie because nothing's gonna happen. And
Yeah, I mean, you think about how badly people fuck themselves up on four-wheelers out in the field. Imagine wrecking one of those things on an asphalt street. Like, oh, God.
I worked as a 911 emergency dispatcher. It's some of the things that I have heard and seen. Like, yeah, so I was my
Bring the
butthole
shovel,
was
time to
puckering a few
scrape another
times.
one off. Yeah.
I was puckered a few times watching the documentary, seeing some of those guys go back, and they're extremely talented. I mean, I'm sure maybe there was some things that weren't shown, that maybe some people fell off, but like the things that these guys were able to do on their four-wheelers and their dirt bikes was amazing.
There's stuff on the dirt bikes that doesn't look like it should be possible.
No.
Like, within the realms, of physics kind of thing. And, yeah, they make it happen. It's cool as shit. Like, you can see why, if you grew up in an incredibly impoverished area where there's not a lot of positivity, but on Sundays, you can go out on the street and a pack of 100+ bikes is going to ride by doing the wildest shit you've ever seen, and that represents a freedom that you've never had in your entire life. Of course, kids are going to look up to them. So.
I enjoyed it. I really did. I looked up Pug after I had watched it to be like, what's he doing now? Is he still, riding bikes and stuff? He sure is. There was I think there was a professional photographer that did like a photo set of him on his bike and on a four-wheeler. Looks like he has a kid now, and like I'm like, oh, cool. At least he's still doing it. And
yeah, well, it should be mentioned that the reason his nickname is Pug is because he's a small kid. Like
yeah, he was very
he's
small.
he's a tiny stature, and that's kind of the concern with him getting involved in all this stuff. Is like he's not some grown into his own teenager kind of thing. He's a child.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, it started at 11 years old. Imagine your kid who said he's turning 10.
Yeah,
He's just like, all right, I'm gonna go hang
I'm
out
gonna go
with
run
the
with the
12 o'clock
pack
boys.
later.
You'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad you assigned me that movie, that documentary, if you will. I knew nothing about this. Clearly, when you assigned it to me last week, you gave me an overview. I knew nothing about the 12 o'clock boys.
Yeah,
or that
it's
there was
a
a roving dirt bike gang in Baltimore on
It's
Sundays.
a thing all over like major cities now in a lot of places, which I'm sure nobody is very happy about. But yeah, we sprinkle our culture everywhere.
I'm a country bumpkin that lives in the middle of nowhere, so we don't really. I mean, we have people riding around on dirt bikes, but it's just a dumbass that's riding down the road. It's not
Yeah, with
45
varying
people on dirt bikes and four wheelers and
different degrees of pearl clutching to the two, I imagine, when observed.
yeah. But yeah, so if any of you guys haven't watched it, I think it's actually streaming. It's on Tubi if you want to watch it for free. So if you guys have any interest in it, like we've talked about many times on the podcast before, if a documentary is well done, it can be about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and this is very competently made.
Yeah, and so even if you're not like big into motorsports, if you're not big into motorsports or anything, but you're interested in seeing, like the human development, like check it out.
It's not, it's not gonna uplift you or anything, but I think it's an important look for a lot of people to possibly, a whole world that they're ignorant of, kind of thing. Not just dirt bike culture, but just the goings on of the city's poorest residents, basically.
And if you want another reason why you'll probably enjoy this movie, apparently a guy who works for Roger Ebert named Godfrey Cheshire gave it 1 star. So,
all right. And that takes me, if I assigned you something, me via Baltimore, I guess you assigned me something that it was quintessentially Wyatt and ties us, we've come full circle back to your Vanagon trip this weekend. You assigned me the game Outbound.
I sure did.
Outbound is a title, I think it's everywhere. We discussed their physical editions
it's on everything.
PS5, Switch have physicals. But it's currently on Game Pass, which we both currently have right now. And Wyatt said I was going to be playing that this week. And I'd be lying to you if I told you I devoted a large amount of time to it. But
I don't think you need to.
I did hang out for quite a bit. I played this streaming, actually, and I think you'll agree with my assessment that this is the perfect type of game to stream on.
Definitely.
Don't have to worry about, latency being an issue or exact precision controls or anything like that. This game, in a lot of ways, is just kind of a virtual representation of what Wyatt's going to go off and do this weekend.
Yeah, pretty much, except I don't have a expando roof that turns into several floors.
So this reminded me of a lot of stuff. It reminded me of our recently played game, Are We There Yet?
Yep.
I think I described this to you as a sober version of that game.
Yep, no cigarettes and no beer, sadly.
Yeah, it's just a little more of a less jokey tone to the whole thing, too. But it also kind of reminded me of games like Firewatch, or other, quote, walking simulators. But basically, this is a slow-paced, kind of take-it-as-you-go, bit by bit, I don't want to say camping sandbox, but just outdoorsy exploration sandbox. And it's like
a cozy survival simulator.
Cozy survival would be a great way to describe it. Absolutely. And
you still need to eat, you still need to sleep, but there's not...
Find a fire, put up shelter, set your camp, do all that stuff, and it's like, oh, we've reached a barrier, but now you need to find the pieces to construct this tool to then raise that barrier. Now you have access to this whole portion of the land where you can explore, and so on and so forth. And as you go, you get new upgrades for your van, like I think it's pictured on the cover, they have wind blimps, so that follow behind your van to generate electricity, and you can put solar panels on it, and then you can start building out, like Wyatt said, additions to the roof, so it will become actually something of a housing structure. And this is one of those games that you could leave for a month, come back to, and pick right up where you left off with no problems, and just kind of enjoy over a very long period of time, which is, if I do continue playing it, how it'll be, probably.
Yeah,
It's a nice digital Valium kind of thing to sit down to and just kind of unwind. Your brain is not really required.
Yeah, that's kind of what I just wanted to give it to you, is just kind of a relaxing little enjoyable romp.
Dare I say, just a nice game, if you will.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the end all be all, blow my mind out. It can just be an enjoyable thing, and it is. And it has a fairly unique art style, I thought.
Yeah, I could use this game, or I could see using this game as, man, I had kind of a crappy day. I don't feel like playing Saros or like NBA or
online multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't feel like playing Marathon right now. Let me just sit down with this
Call of Duty or something. Yeah.
Let me just sit in this little van and drive around the wilderness, collect some wood and start a fire and just relax.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said for that these days, especially when less people are probably inclined or can afford to go out and have a Vanagon and then go camping like you. Got to take it where they can get it and explore how they can. And yeah, I'll dip back into this as long as I have access to it. I think an hour here, hour there. It's just nice, relaxing.
Yeah, it didn't get the greatest reviews because a lot of people, I guess there was a demo that came out for it, and people are like, the rest of the game is literally just the demo. You don't really do anything else, which...
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, like that. It's a game to chill out. There's not going to be a lot there. And sure, you know what? If anyone listening to this doesn't have Game Pass or doesn't, really want to put any money into it, but you have a PC, go ahead and download the demo. You'll see what the game is about.
Yeah, or spend your $5 on RV There Yet and be able to drink beer and rip heaters and get a very similar experience. Honestly, that would be my review. We really need to get back to that game. We do. It's just too fun, man.
We need to get Ian back, and we need to get Joe to join us, because I feel like with the four of us doing that...
Yeah, a full suite on the RV, destroying everything that we touch.
Driving underwater. The audio in that game amazed me for such a cheap game. Like...
batting way above their their needed average.
But so what do you got for me? Like I had told you before we started recording, hopefully you don't have anything super involved for me, because I'm more or less going to be off grid until Friday or so.
Okay, well, this should be achievable on a portable level, but if not, it's neither one of them is going to set you back too far as far as time requirements. Have you played, and this is one that I think you're going to say yes you have, did you ever play the SNES classic Rock and Roll Racing?
Oh, I sure did, but I have not played it in probably 30-ish years.
I poured an obscene amount of time into that game as a kid, and it was one of those titles that we rented like 10 times before finally convincing my buddy to get his own copy. But since you have played that, I more than encourage you to go back, but it is Motorsport week or month, and you have a game in your backlog here that I am going to assign you because you have not played it, called Guts and Glory. And
familiar.
This
I own it. It's in my backlog?
You own this, and this is in your backlog.
Sweet. I've never played. I bought this for a reason, but yeah.
To describe the cover of what I'm looking at, it's what appears to be a man on a four-wheeler, how very apropos, with a shotgun racked on the back, a family in a convertible that's hit a bump and the child is flying out of the back seat, a man racing on a bicycle also with a child on the back, and it's some sort of masked fellow in a sit-down lawn chair jetpack.
Yeah, checks out.
Yep, and what it says here is Guts and Glory is a game about racing to the finish line while everything tries to kill you and you laugh about it.
I'm going to say right now, because I just popped onto the Steam page, if anyone wants to try this out along with me, apparently it's currently 80% off until June 18th for $2.99. So,
buddy,
and just looking at this quick trailer.
Your thoughtful co-host may have noticed that and thought about it, and I would be more than happy to pick this up and try it out with you one night this week once you're back if you want.
Yeah, the tagline is it's a game about a father and son riding their bicycle through obstacle courses of death and other fun family experiences.
I mean, if that's not in our wheelhouse, what is, Wyatt?
Yeah, I am excited for this. I'm guessing I probably got this in a Humble Bundle or something at some point because I don't specifically remember buying
Or
this.
a fanatical mystery pack.
Yeah, but it's made by Tiny Build or it's published by Tiny Build, and they usually put out some pretty good games.
All right. Well, I saw it there, and I think it was one of the few titles that had something related to racing or motorsport that was on your backlog, because we know that you enjoy such things. So you probably don't let too many of these types of titles pass you by. So this seemed appropriate to me.
It's true. I'm excited. I gotta dig out my Steam Deck from wherever it's hiding right now, so I'll probably bring that up north with me.
Why don't you go ahead and tell me what the wife and I are going to be watching for the adult feature this evening, or maybe the whole family if it's an appropriate movie. I don't know.
I don't think it's appropriate for the whole family.
Noted.
It's not. I guess some of the things you said you've watched with the kid, I don't think it's any worse, but
we're just like kind of like pretty much in PG-13 territory is universally fine at this point.
Then you could probably, it's more, yeah, I'd say it's like a PG-13 goofy comedy drama-ish kind of movie. I'll send you the trailer after we get off this, and you can watch that. And probably from the trailer, you could decide whether or not it's going to be a movie for you and the boy.
You know what I just thought of? Like in this genre, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
What was the 2000 movie? And maybe you're about to assign this to me. I don't know. That was a remake of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Rat Race. Did you ever see Rat Race?
I have seen Rat Race.
Dude, I bet he would love that.
Have you seen Rat Race?
Not in 25 years, but I've seen it. It was on cable every 5 minutes there for a minute.
Maybe I'll sign that to you at the end of the month, just so you guys can watch it, or just watch it with the boy. Because
I was going to say maybe I'll just have it show up on the server and plant the seed that it's something that he could pick himself.
So I'm going to assign you, since we are on the subject of Motorsports Month, and this is definitely a motorsport. I know we talked to our buddy Joe from Rad Junk about this type of thing. I'm going to assign you the movie Cannonball, which it's not Cannonball Run, as you might be thinking.
Oh.
This is a 1976 David Carradine movie when he was still alive before
Kung Fu.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of Kung Fu in this movie.
Unfortunate self-pleasured end.
He went out the way that Trevor Moore said he wanted to go out. So there's that.
Asphyxiation while masturbating?
Yeah.
In a
there's
closet?
a Whitest Kid You Know skit about that. If you haven't seen it, I'll send it
I don't know if I have.
But anyway, so David Carradine has a red Pontiac and he enters Transamerica Grand Prix. It's essentially the Cannonball Run.
With
they're
Kung Fu.
With a Kung Fu guy in it.
Yeah.
Don't expect too much Kung Fu.
Oh.
The prize is to win $100,000. David Carradine has one guy that he's his direct competition because he's trying to get a spot on this motorsports racing team. It wasn't a very highly rated movie. I don't even think it probably did that great, but it's fun.
What year are we talking about here? Like
1976.
76. Okay, I was in the park. Yeah,
came out the same year as the Gumball Rally, which I'm not sure if you've seen that either.
I used to watch almost religiously the Gumball 3000 DVD when I was younger. Like the more modern one though, with like. Robin Big before they were Robin Big, and like Kim.com before anybody.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Kim.com before anybody knew who he was and all that wild stuff. That I used to watch the shit out of that. But I don't think I've ever actually seen any of the. There's actually a Gumball movie from the 70s, 80s. I don't think I've
76.
seen that.
Yeah. The Gumball Rally came out in 76.
There you go.
Well, crap. We're gonna need multiple months for me to be able to assign you all this stuff.
That's why we're here. We'll just have to keep making the show for years, and we'll bring back Motorsport June every year, like tradition, Wyatt. Because
nobody's gonna like that.
No, we're locked together at this point, pal. You ain't getting rid of me.
Yeah, it's true. But I think you'll have fun. I check out the trailer. It's like a 2-minute trailer, and from that, I'm sure you can decide whether or not it's appropriate to watch with your kid. I don't think it's anything absolutely terrible, but I'm not a parent, so I can't make that decision.
Oh, I mean, it's fine. I don't care. It ain't gonna break him.
It's true. It's not like I just watched Patton Oswalt's new stand-up last night, which apparently I realized as I was watching it, this was the one I went to go see him do live in Portsmouth last year. But it was fine because it was long enough that, I'd watch
Well,
it
at least
again.
you got to watch the special after having seen it live, and not the
Yeah.
other way around that happens occasionally.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
He was talking about how I think his daughter was 10 or 11 at the time, and I guess so about the same age as your son, so maybe you can relate to this. And apparently she's a huge horror fan, and she was begging him to like see all these horror movies. And he's like, "You're not old enough. You're gonna be like, I don't want to deal with this. You're gonna be terrified."
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna lose sleep because of this.
Yeah. So she came at him with, she's like, "I really want to see the Halloween movie, the first Halloween movie, John Carpenter's
Woof.
Halloween." Yeah, and Patton Oswalt was like, "No, you're absolutely not. Like, I watched that when I was too young when I watched that, and it scared the crap out of me. We're not doing that." And she was like, "Well, all my friends have seen it and this and that." And he's like, "I don't care." And he's like, then she got me. He was like, "But they're gonna spoil it for me." He was like, crap." So I won't give away the whole bit, but he and his 10-year-old go ahead and watch Halloween 1978, maybe that came out. I'm not 1981.
Yeah, there is no awkward scenes to experience with your kid in that one whatsoever. Maybe it could, let's line up Hills Have Eyes after we're done with it and do that.
Yeah.
Maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because, jeez. Yeah, I'm
78,
not watching
I was
that
right.
stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, if you get a chance, actually, Patton Oswalt's new special is right on YouTube. It was released via, I think, 800 Pound Gorilla is like the group that him, Bobcat Goldthwait, or maybe not. There's a bunch of comedians that Kyle Kinane. Hey, Kyle Kinane's from Chicago. You're in Chicago. Nice.
It's like there's some
You guys-
sort of
you guys best
improv
friends?
comedy world here in this city that I don't know what it is.
You must be best friends with Kyle Kinane. You guys all know each other, right?
I know everyone from Upright Citizens Brigade and the Groundlings. They're all my best friends, yeah.
And I assume you go to Second City all the time?
I have actually gone to a Second City show. It was fun.
Well, you know what? I know we got really off topic and we should be wrapping this show up, but we should see if
you
there's a
gotta go on
Second City
vacation.
show going on when I'm out there in a few months. Because, newsflash, I booked my trip out to Chicago before we go to Really Rad Weekend, so Nick and I get to hang out again for a few days.
Yeah, just make sure you ping me when you do the second part about going to Florida, so I make sure I book that flight too, because I'm not.
Oh
good at
yeah, I
such
probably
things.
should have booked that flight when I showed you that cheap one, because
Yeah.
I think it's already gone up $40.
Arf. Well, we'll keep an eye on it.
That's all right. Yeah, I got tracking, so we'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you for listening to this rambling part of the podcast. Nick, tell everyone about the giveaway we're doing.
We are giving away a handheld emulation device that I reviewed a couple months ago. The Absolute E1, is that what it is? I don't remember which one you grabbed off the pile.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, Absolute
capable,
spelled really weird.
Yeah, capable dual boot machine that runs both Android and Linux. It'll play up to your Dreamcast, PlayStation titles, PSP, stuff like that. Now, I can't recall if that was a 1x1 screen on that unit, and Wyatt has it in its possession, so it might be better suited to aspects that work on that ratio, but 4.3 stuff
It's not a
will still
1-to-1.
display
I think
fine.
it's a
Oh,
widescreen
okay.
actually.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. Shows you
Yeah.
how much I remember. Anyway, we'll make sure it's loaded up for you, and all you got to do to sign up for our giveaways is sign up for a Patreon, and you'll get a fun email reminder when a new free episode posts. And yeah, this is the free membership tier, but if you choose to contribute, we certainly appreciate that as well. I just wrote a Patreon, I guess, exclusive blog online about our experience at Golden State and recapping some of the stuff there. And I guess we hope to do similar things every month, along with other giveaways and bonuses and fun stuff.
Yeah,
did I get it all?
Yeah, I think you did. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed to our Patreon, whether a paid tier or a free tier. We always appreciate it, and
you'll be entered.
You'll definitely be entered, and hopefully you will win. I will probably post at some point before I head off on vacation and go on more or less a social media blackout for the next few days, which I am super excited about.
Yeah.
I'll make a couple posts. Hopefully I've got a few things I need to do, because little secret about the podcast, if you see someone posting on Blue Sky from our We Don't Have It Yet account, it's probably me. So
Yep. I don't know
wanna
what
try
I
and
did
take
with the account password, and I haven't bothered to try it again. So I just let Wyatt be that guy now.
Yeah, it's fine. I think we divide our responsibilities fairly well with the
Yeah,
podcast.
even enough.
So, anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Again, if you enjoy the podcast, please go ahead and join either our free Patreon tier or, higher. Let your friends know about us, and, we don't have it yet, but we'll figure it out someday.
Have fun out there touching some grass for the week, pal. I hope you enjoy it. Soak it all in, relax a little bit, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hell yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Love you, peeps.